Hello, y'all. I am Gloria, aka La Boom Like, and today we are doing my Make 9 for 2023 and my sewing resolutions or intentions. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I'm gonna jump into my Make 9. I don't know if my 2023 Make 9 is gonna come out before I've had a chance to upload the results of my 2022 Make 9, but I'll go through my basic view of things. I forget the name of the sewist who started Make 9, but I'll put that name up on the screen. I love this sewing challenge. I don't really think there's a way to fail at it unless, for me, I love just having these intentions set, just having 9 sewing projects or types of sewing projects that I can jump into over the year. And if I'm not sure what to work on, I could always look back at my Make 9. Now, I have never completed all 9 sewing projects on my Make 9, and I don't mind that at all. They're just my sewing intentions and kind of what I'm into at the beginning of the year, and they can change, and I don't have any huge responsibility to my Make 9. I just find it to be a fun sewing intention to work on for the year. Without further ado, let's jump into what's on my Make 9. This year I have a mix of things. I have my a few patterns that are specific patterns and a few items that are types of sewing projects. So I, in no particular order, will start with Sew Liberated's Arenite Pants. These are just really cool casual pants that I want in my wardrobe. Not quite joggers, a little bit of a different slouchy design. I see this working well for a linen fabric. I don't think I have anything in linen, so I want to try to make some linen pants out of the Arenite pattern. And I like the way the pockets are. I just think this will be a really interesting pants pattern and hopefully not too difficult for me to work on. And if I like it, I might see about making a few pattern hacks. So I like what I've seen other people make, and I'm hoping to add my make to that group. So that is the Sew Liberated Arenite Pants. After that, let's jump over to Vogue 1645. I have loved this pattern since it came out in 2019. I think I got it when it originally came out. I've loved every make that somebody has made of this pattern that I've seen on social media, and I haven't jumped into it because it is advanced, and for some reason I'm a little afraid of that, and I haven't found the exact right fabric that I want to use for that. When we get into my sewing resolutions, I'll talk a little bit more about my fabric intentions, but I've decided, like, I wanted to make this pattern every year since I've had it, and I can't go into 2023 make it all the way to the end without making it. So I've put it on my Make 9, and hopefully we'll be matching a perfect fabric to this pattern. After that, okay, I have Butterick 6351, and specifically I'm going for either view A or view D, probably view D. And this is an easy pattern. I've tried to make this, I want to say, like almost 3 years ago, and this is a redemption pattern. All the other patterns here, I'm like, oh, I'm dying to have this pattern. I really want this in my wardrobe. And this would just be a nice addition to my wardrobe. But my whole thing is I made view D out of the wrong type of fabric. And I made it when I was not as good a sewist as I am now. I have a little bit more skill, so it should be even easier for me to make. And when I make it out of a lighter weight fabric, I made it out of a mid-weight denim that I thought was lightweight, and it wasn't. That stuff was stiff when I put it on, and it was a vintage denim, so it kind of shredded in the wrong way. It just wasn't right. and I was devastated about it for a little while and tried to save it, and then I realized I can't save it. Couldn't save it, shredded it, made it pillow stuffing. But now for redemption, I put Butterick 6351 on my Make 9. So we'll look at this come springtime, maybe summertime if I make the dress. I also love that back cutout. I think it's a beautiful back cutout. I think I will have to adjust things a little bit to make it fit over my hips in more of an A-line. And if I make the dress, you know I'm gonna make it shorter because I like a short dress. But I think it'll be a nice redemption, hopefully. Okay, I'm moving right on and gonna jump into the yes, I'm gonna jump into the other indie pattern I have. This has been on my Make 9 before. This has been cut out for over a year, and it's on my Make 9 again, and don't have no problems with that. It is the Deer and Doe Narcisse Pants. What can I say? I have had this pattern for 4 years. I've had it cut out for at least a year and a half. Maybe 2023 is the year that I make this pants pattern. I am less afraid now of a fly front zipper. So the only slightly scary thing are the back welt pockets. But I'm gonna have to give it a try, right? Like, I'm gonna make these pants in 2023. That's that on that. The Deer and Doe Narcisse Pants. Let's move on. I've got 2 Mimi G patterns, and the first one is, I think, gonna be the most demanding thing that I have on my entire Make 9, and the second piece might be one of the least demanding. So let's go harder to easier. Simplicity 9052, specifically View B. Long rain jacket with a detachable hood. I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be cute. I'm gonna have no problems. Those are the intentions I'm speaking out into the world. This is another pattern where every time I've seen somebody share on social media, it has looked wonderful. Whether you make this exact the green or the Army Forest Green type rain jacket, or I've seen some really beautiful colorful ones. I think I can do some really interesting color blocking for this pattern, and it's just going to be down to the details. I think I have all the notions I actually need, and I might even have my outer fabric that I need. I have to check if what I want to use is waterproof or water resistant, and maybe I will have a spring jacket depending on when I get some sewing time. So that's Simplicity 9052 and specifically View B. My next Mimi G item is Simplicity 8177. Originally, this was just any old long vest, but this was the pattern that I had in mind, and it was View E. I just like these as layering pieces, whether it's hot or cold weather. I think they're super versatile, and I think this will be an easy pattern to make. I love that it's pocketed, and I could see myself making this out of a lightweight knit or a light to medium weight woven. Let me see what they say. Yeah, there's a lot of fabric choices that you can use for this pattern. So specifically 8177 View E, this long vest. So I think I'll be trying that out soon because I have a trip coming up in February that I want to have this for some layering options. So those items are specific patterns that I have chosen. Now we're moving into types of projects where I don't have a specific pattern chosen, but I have some things kicking around. The first one was also on my Make 9 last year, and no, I didn't make it, so that's why it's on again this year, and that is to make some cute pajamas. That just means something besides my little boxer shorts and old t-shirt that I wear to bed, which is fine and comfortable and whatnot. But as I pare down to more things that I really, really love, I like having things that make me feel sophisticated or cute, maybe a little bit sexy when I'm going to bed and are still comfortable. So I'm not sure yet if I want a simple cami nightgown or if I want to make a tank top and boxer short set. I'm gonna decide that based off what fabric I have that's gonna be comfortable for me to sleep in. So that is on my make nine. Hopefully I can do that before I leave in February as well, because I'd like to take that on my trip. The second thing I have, again for my trip, so these are three things I'm trying to sew before I leave in about 3.5 weeks. So we'll see what gets made. The second thing is a bathing suit. I have made one bathing suit before. It didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it, not because the fit wasn't good, but because the fabric wasn't really wonderful. It was a neoprene that changed color in the water, and I didn't like the way it did that. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping to make a bathing suit. And one of the patterns I could make, which will take me into this other section of patterns, is Butterick 3129. The bathing suit in this pattern is already cut out of some beautiful animal print fabric. I think it's just so cute. My only worry about this bathing suit is that it looks more like something for lounging around the beach versus getting in the water, which may be what I end up using it for. Who knows? And we'll see how this cut kind of behaves with my larger bust. So we'll see, but I think I'm gonna make that, and then I will give a try to a really super simple sporty bikini or a crop bikini and see if I can get those made up. But Butterick 3129 is an option. I have made the t-shirt from this pattern before, and I love every single piece in this pattern. Could see myself making everything else. That takes me to the final item on my make nine. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, yeah. This takes me to the final item on my make nine, which is one of my vintage patterns. I love a vintage pattern, especially certain 70s and 80s patterns. I'm drawn to them. I like certain silhouettes. I like certain details that are just ever so slightly different than modern patterns that you'll find lately. And I have a ton of them. I run, as another side sewing hobby to my sewing hobby, I run an Etsy shop where I sell vintage patterns. Basically, I would buy all these vintage patterns that I really, really love in lots, and I would find the things that are like, oh, this doesn't fit me, or this isn't exactly my style, or I'm never going to get to this. I would pop it up onto my Etsy shop, and I don't make a ton of sales over there, but it's a nice little supplement to my sewing habit. And I'm gonna be actually doing a little Etsy project that I might share with you guys on this channel. I'll see if I want to document things there, but it's just a fun, like I said, side hobby to my sewing hobby. But because I get to find so many really beautiful vintage patterns, and I go through a lot more care with them, where I usually will trace off the pattern if it's not already cut and be really, really careful with the envelopes and whatnot, because I like keeping them in as wonderful condition as I can. I get a little bit too precious with my vintage sewing patterns. And what I've realized is the whole point of this hobby is for joy, is for pleasure, for creativity. It is not to have more stress about what I can and cannot have access to. These are my things and I need to use them. So on that note, I'm gonna make at least one of my vintage patterns, and let me show you a couple of things that I am very excited about. First off, this one is from actually 2001. So this is the newest of the patterns, but still technically vintage. It's over 20 years. It is Butterick 3191, an easy wrap dress. And I like this again because layering. I just think I love layering options. A wrap dress will be nice and simple, will fit me for the most part in whatever size fluctuations I can be. And it could just be really sophisticated and a good way to use some of my really beautiful fabric that I want to show off. So that's an option, Butterick 3191. I also have, oh, I don't have the year for this, but if I find it, I'll pop it on the screen, or who knows. I think that this is an 80s pattern though, and it's Vogue 7133. I like this kind of a blouse with an interesting yoke. I like all of the views, but I think I am probably most leaning towards view A because it's the simplest, but I also like the way that view C looks. Yeah, if this all is dependent on fabrics. So that's Vogue 7133. In a similar vein, because I do like that yoke style, I have Butterick 6785. That yellow dress, I think it's view A, makes me think of April from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm seeing a vibe, I'm seeing an aesthetic. I can get some red braids, 80s style, some yellow fabric, which I think I might have that'll work for this, and make this work. So I still like that yoke. It is that gathered placket yoke. I don't know how you would exactly call it, but I like that style that's in some of these 80s patterns. And then we round it out with an option that I just have to make because it's going to be so useful. It is actually the belt in Simplicity 7018. It is a simple obi belt. This pattern is from 1975, and I like the slouch bag in there as well, but I think either view 2 or view 1, maybe I'll make all of the belts from this pattern. Maybe I'll make every single thing in here. It's just such a cute obi belt pattern, and you can make an oversized dress. I can pair it, these two patterns paired together. I can pair these two patterns together and get some really, really cute looks. So that is my Make 9. I would love for y'all to share your Make 9s with me. I will go quickly through my sewing resolutions because they are really similar to last year. But there are 2 projects I think I'm gonna start, and I'm deciding on how much filming I can do for how much I can share with you guys. I might just take pictures and share on Instagram. But the 2 projects I am starting, the first one doesn't have a cute name yet, but it is a like $50 challenge. I started the year with $50 in my sewing budget. Normally, I have a line in my personal budget that's for sewing and clothes. And I look at what I've spent each month and let that roll over so that if I want to buy some patterns, some fabric, it's all in the same budget of when I want to buy a new bag, a pair of shoes, whatnot. It all goes together. This year, I'm going to see what I can do, how I can be thrifty, and separate out my sewing budget, starting with just $50 at the beginning of the year. And that's to be used for all things sewing. That's notions, that's patterns, that's fabric. Everything to do with my sewing hobby starts with that $50. And depending on what I sell on my Etsy, what I'm able to thrift, what I buy when I want to buy, I will just be either growing that original $50 or digging into that $50 starting seed and see how long it lasts me in the year. I'll see if I can make it to the end of the year with my original 50, or see how long I can make it last. I'm positive I can make it last at least 2 or 3 months, but once I get past that stage, we'll see what happens and how things go. On that note, the other big sewing project I'm trying is Pink Mimosa by Jacinta's 30-yard challenge, I think it's called. Yeah, something like that. It started by Pink Mimosa by Jacinta, and it is a challenge to use 30 yards of your fabric before you bring in any more fabric to your sewing room, your sewing space, into your sewing and fabric collection. That is something I definitely need to do. I have a lot of beautiful fabrics in my collection. I do have some things some gaps where I'm missing some things, but I really want to challenge myself to use what I have. One, because I am running out of space, and two, because I'm putting myself on this stricter, more intentional budget project for my sewing. So I really do think I'll have fun getting creative and using what I have and making space for new things to come in. If I push myself to use my 30 yards, that's when I can bring new things in and I'll see my wardrobe grow and hopefully be happy with what I made, or at least learn some new things. So those are the two things. My $50 challenge and my 30-yard challenge are kind of what are in my sewing resolutions. You guys have seen my Make 9 for 2023, and I will definitely at least do a check-in halfway through the year so you guys can see what's going on over here. Let me know if you want to see updates on those other sewing projects. But for now, I'm going to end here and hopefully get to doing some sewing this afternoon. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what y'all are making and have some happy sewing. Peace, y'all.